Hi, FREEZE64 and Commodore 64 friends. Here we have a quick preview of issue 73 of FREEZE64, which was released in January 2025. So we've got the front cover here, which features a fabulous artwork by John Smith for the game Phantom of the Asteroids, which is actually called Phantoms of the Asteroid. So plural and then singular. So the story behind this is that we originally had this game on the cover of issue 6 of FREEZE64, which about 2 years ago Martin Ellis purchased a copy of. And he said, oh, by the way, I'm the Martin Ellis who produced Phantoms of the Asteroid. So at that point I said, any chance of an interview? Knowing that, again, eventually, when I feature his interview, I'll have Phantoms of the Asteroid back on the cover. Fortunately, he agreed to the interview, and here it is 2 years later, finally gets published in issue 73 of FREEZE64. Here we have the contents page, and there's a lovely smiley picture there of Martin himself, who now teaches swing and Lindy Hop dancing. And he has his own website, which you'll find in this issue of FREEZE64. Got, as always, a few sprites scattered around. There's Bomb Jack there. There's the guy from V. There's your man from International Karate Plus with his trousers down. There's our welcome page. Then we have our main Phantoms of the Asteroid feature. So back in issue 6, I didn't actually look at the game. I just looked at the cheats. So I'm giving it my FREEZE64 retrospective. And then there's Tony Bryce from who used to write for Commodore User Amiga magazine, who gives us his views of Phantoms of the Asteroid. Then we have the great Andrew Braybook, who looks looking back his career, his Commodore 64 game development career, and this particular part looks at the games that he revisited, such as Uridium and Paradroid, and made different versions of them. And then we have this piece, A Moment with John Rowlands. Now, one of my pet hates within the Commodore 64 world, and in the world in general, is getting information from people that's second, third, fourth, fifth hand. And so you never really know what the truth is. And there's always this story that's gone around about John and Steve never receiving money from Thalamus for their games. And so I thought, I'm going to put this one to bed. I'm going to ask John outright about the money situation. And in the previous issue and in this issue, John finally sets the record straight, which is good to hear. Our lovely Julian Rignall is back again with Crap Back. He looks at the crap games from issue 14 of Zap 64, which was published back in June 1986. So we've got V, the computer game, Bomb Jack, and the comic game. Then we have Secret Squirrel, who checks out Neptune's Daughter and also Samantha Fox's Strip Poker, some hidden elements in there for you all to see. There's Martin Ellis. So finally, after 2 years, the interview with Martin Ellis, who chats to me about his early years, how he got into programming, and then eventually how he got to produce games that were published by Mastertronics. We've got Munchmania and Hectic, and then Codemasters published Superhero, which Martin produced. There's Martin there with his original Alfa Romeo. Try and get that in focus for you. Then we have our We Don't Do Reviews section, where we look at Avalan, produced by Icon 64 and published, or will be published by Cytronic in February. And that game gets one of our lovely FREEZE64 sizzling sausages. Then we hack Avalan. So I've got some infinite lives. You can get the sword. You can trigger the monk. That's once you get the game. And then we have our mouldy cupboard, which looks at Ice Busters. So I had this game in my cupboard. I've had it in my cupboard for years. I can't remember where I got it from, but it's got this strange looking cover that looks like it's one. It does look like it's something that I drew myself with color markers felt tip pens, and I wasn't sure when I got it out of the cupboard. I thought, is that me? Did I make that cover? And then I realised, no, that actually is the official cover. It just looks like somebody's drawn it. But there's a bit of a story behind this one, which you'll find out in when you get hold of a copy yourself. Part 2 of our development diary with Chris Stanley of Megastar. And actually at this moment in time, I'm working on part 3. So Chris has already written part 3. I just have to page set it ready for issue 74 of FREEZE64. So that is issue 73 of FREEZE64. On the back cover, we have the brand new Thalamus advert for Hunter's Moon, which has been revisited and enhanced by the Thalamus team, which is run and now owned by Andy Roberts, who sponsored the back cover there with his advert. So there you have it. If you want to read a copy of FREEZE64 issue 73, you can grab a copy from FREEZE64.com.